Dan.
And Michelle, consolidation news continues in the airline sector today, with Iberia widely expected to reject a takeover offer from British Airways and TPG. But why are countries putting their flag carriers up for sale? Joining us now for more, Paul O'Neill, Director of Transport at Deloitte. A very good morning to you, Paul.
Hi,
you know,
Dan.
I'd actually like to kick off with the Ryanair Aerlingus situation. Do you think the EU have got a strong case to block this one?
This is a very interesting case within the general trend of consolidation we're seeing across Europe, and to be fair, across other parts of the world. But to focus just on this example, I think there's merit on both sides. Ryanair may feel cheated by the European Union's decision, but then again, there are dominance concerns. Ryanair is very strong, looking forward to taking over significant chunks, maybe as much as 70–80% market share in Dublin. So it's not a non-issue from the European Commission's point of view, but Ryanair is probably just a victim of his own success.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Michael O'Leary certainly will not go down quietly on this one, I suspect.
Michael doesn't do anything quietly.
No. So do you think, what's his defence going to be?
Well, I think he'll generate the absolutely maximum public relations from this story, but there's not much else he can do. He doesn't have control of the Commission. He's aware that if the Commission had approved it, the Irish government then had the option to block it had it gone down that far. But I think the Irish government are probably grateful to Europe that they don't have to do that. But I think the odds were against it happening. O'Leary's not going to be surprised. He will turn this into a great public relations success, because he does that with everything, and congratulations to him.
Just briefly about British Airways then, what do you think the form is there, that Iberia is just looking for a bit more money?
Well, again, this is complicated, because British Airways weren't looking at putting money in, because they already have a substantial shareholding, that's 10% or so, which makes them a very important player in terms of anybody else who might be bidding for Iberia, who have said yes, we're for sale. Okay. Now, are they looking for more money from, I think the likely bidder was Texas Pacific Group, TPG? I don't know. TPG are excellent negotiators, huge experience, and have a wealth of experience in this industry. So I suspect the negotiations are still running underground, and we don't know the facts. We just know some of the story as it's leaked from different sides. So the answer is we don't know yet.
Paul, this is Christine here. Can we broaden out the discussion a little bit? I mean, if you look at the global aviation sector, is Asia where the biggest growth is coming from?
Well, Asia is certainly rocketing ahead of the other industries, or the other regions of the world, but this is mainly because there's more scope for growth. We have the two giants, the BRIC economies, China and India, leading that race, but the other players, the other more established and smaller countries, are also struggling to keep up, and in some cases making progress.
Hi, Paul. It's Michelle here in the United States. How do you think the U.S. market is shaping up here now that we've seen all of these guys coming out of bankruptcy? They are leaner and meaner and starting to give some of the discount carriers a run for their money. We're finally going to see this sector take off?
Well, first of all, congratulations to the Big Six in the U.S. for struggling through, well, 5 of the Big Six struggled through bankruptcy and have come out. 1 didn't go into bankruptcy, and perhaps even greater congratulations to them. The pace of change in the U.S. is different. It's different from Asia. It's different from Europe. The resistance to consolidation is greater in the U.S., despite some attempts, for example, U.S. Delta have flirted with joining. And I think what's happening here is we are continuing to see excess capacity, and that being increased. The excess is being increased in the U.S., and that might turn them into future problems, which is largely the cause of the problems they've had in the past. But they need to keep an eye on the capacity. If they can get some sort of balance, then I think they could be doing very well in the future. But the history of the industry is that if there's a chance to have overcapacity, they always do. So I'm not optimistic that they'll solve that problem in the short term.
Paul, we're going to have to finish off with a bit of crystal ball gazing, I'm afraid. How do you think the industry will look in 5 years' time? Very different from today?
I think in Europe, we may see significant difference. We may see real consolidation along the lines of that led by Air France-KLM. Air France-KLM near the end of their 5-year moratorium. I think that pattern is what Europe may be pursuing in the future. Maybe a different form of consolidation in Asia-Pac. It's a big region, not really a homogeneous unit, but we'll see some sort of consolidation there, and we have seen big consolidation there already. JAL, Jazz in Japan, Air India, India Airlines, and of course the Qantas confusion, not consolidation, but an acquisition. So stuff's happening in Asia. not in America. I don't think we're going to see a big difference in 5 years in America.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. So we'll see you again. That's Paul O'Neill, Director of Transports with Deloitte.
Still to come.